significant number of them have started to engage in this type of behavior, and that is feeling like they're being objectified when they are in the gyms and whatnot, and they're dressed provocatively, although they will debate that, but they are scantily clad in these gyms, and they don't expect for men to be attracted to them or to look at them or to say hi to them or to approach them in any way. And if they do, these men are considered to be predatory in some way. They call them creeps. Describe their behavior as feral. And we're gonna look at an incident that took off with a young lady who basically set up a situation to make it look like this gentleman was out of bounds when he wasn't. And we're going to talk about that. I wish I had this other one where a white lady came into Black Guy's gym and basically, aggressively asked him, what are you looking at? And he said, I asked you if you need any help. No, I don't need any help. So she didn't realize that it was his gym, and he put her out of the gym and told her not to come back. She set up her phone and set up this whole scenario as if, the guys looking at her were the problem when she's the problem. She's going in and creating a situation where there was no situation. And we're starting to see this a lot, a lot of Karen-like behavior to the second power, and it's unnecessary and it's uncalled for, especially with this this recent predicament with Michael Irving. You had this young lady that put herself in close proximity with him and then said something happened when nothing happened. She stopped so that he would be able to happen to cross her path, and then she'd start talking to the guy when she was at work, and the manager was clearly peeved about it, and watched the whole interaction, as well as the interaction being on camera, and it's just now been released. But everybody was this man lost money, and everybody took this woman's position before ever doing anything about it, which is what usually takes place. No one sees the men as victims or being preyed upon by these predatory women, but that's what happens. They know that these men have money, and they put themselves in a position to where they can say that something happened so that they can get a piece of that money. This has been going on for the longest. Men have always talked about this. Some women used to also, advocate for men and say that, yeah, these types of things are happening and these women never should be in these spaces. But now, everybody's got an amnesia and thinks that no, women can't be women are always victims and men can't be victims, and men are always preying on these women, these hapless women. Like you can see this young lady up here, and she's in, working out in the gym, and this guy's looking. He's clearly looking. He might be fascinated. He might not even be sexual, but you see the guy doesn't have a shirt on, and he has shorts on. If other guys were in there, no one would think anything about that. The young lady's in some gear that is not, overly provocative, but wear a regular t-shirt. You're around men. Wear a regular t-shirt. Why do you have to be in, in super tight pants and, tights and, sports bras and all of that, and doing exercises that we know have no benefit physically. But you're in here, doing, exercises that are clearly, hunching exercises and whatnot. And, you're not going to get anything out of that. You're just in there because you like attention. Nobody wants to say this because it's, it seems like it's, not treating the women appropriately or whatever, or not being fair to them being able to go into the gym. Make all female gyms. Then y'all can go in there and you can do all of these acts and stuff in front of other women. If you don't want to be looked at by men, you should go and be in all women's gym. And then I guarantee you nobody's going to look at you except for the women who are into women. And then they'll look at you, and then you can say that you're being objectified by these other women, who are looking like men and acting like men, and who, basically identify as men or whatever the case may be. But there is some natural propensity to find the opposite sex attractive. It's been going on for millions of years, and now it's all of a sudden it's a bad thing, and that's why we're seeing things like the birth rates dropping and, less social interaction between males and females because of all of this extra that's being injected into the process. It's uncomfortable now to interact with other females, especially on the job, especially in gyms and places where you're trying to, unwind and to, stay healthy and basically commune with yourself or with other males, But now, what do they say about that? Oh, you're gay if you only want to be around other guys now. Well, I mean, we always played football with each other. We always played, basketball with each other. When we weren't gay then, we were just guys playing team sports. But now all of a sudden, if you don't want women around when you're doing things like that, then, somehow you're questionable, and this is just shaming tactics so that they can be in the same places that we are. You go back to, the Victorian era, and, there were men's spaces where men got away from women, and these were mysterious places to these women. They always wanted to know what was going on in these places, Men used to tell women, "Oh, don't worry yourself about their politics, or don't worry yourself about the things that we're talking about," and the woman would get peeved about that. But I think that to some degree, some of that needs to happen because, if it doesn't pertain to you, then you should mind your business, and you wouldn't have a lot of these problems where these women are injecting themselves into, the business aspect of these men, knowing how much these men are worth, and then weaseling their way in to try to, use their feminine wiles to weasel their way in. And, women say that, hey, women don't do that. Well, if they don't do that, then how about we go back to that and then, we won't have that problem. But nobody wants that. But I digress. I've been on a little tirade on this, but we're going to get on to, the meat of the show here. And excuse my squeaky chair. I do love my squeaky chair. So here we go. All right. So this is the show here where we have this Twitch influencer, Jessica Fernandez, who basically films a man staring at her like a piece of meat in the gym. This is, I guess her quote, that they're using. So we go down here and we see Jessica there, but basically the story says a female Twitch A streamer has gone viral for posting a video of a feral gym goer staring at her like a piece of meat during a workout. Jessica Fernandez, a video game and lifestyle content creator with nearly 56,000 followers on Twitch and 10,000 subscribers on YouTube, posted the video on Twitter last week, where it has since been viewed 2.6 million times. This guy kept making me extremely uncomfortable at the gym, she wrote. This is why I'll end up crying on stream because I feel so grossed out at times with the amount of sexualization I experience. I hope this spreads awareness for girls who experience this type of treatment at the gym. Okay, so she says in the video, Fernandez lifting weights while a man in the background can be seen repeatedly glancing over at her. Stupid piece of fucking shit behind me, she whispers into her microphone. I hate this. I hate when men, when there's weirdos, gets me so uncomfortable. Feral, like a fucking feral. So she's, calling the man feral and whatnot, just being, over the top. And she says later in the video, the man approaches her and offers to help her put the weight on her bar. Okay, so let's look at a picture of that. So this is her, in her little outfit here. And you see she's looking down at her camera. You're not working out. You're not paying attention to your workout or your weight here that you're dealing with. You're not paying attention to any of that. But you're, on this pad here, and you're supposed to be, I don't know what the hell she's supposed to be doing, but I worked out for a long time. I don't know what she's working out. And I mean, look at her body. She clearly is not, someone who is really, really putting a whole lot of work in as far as weights are concerned. So she's in there for attention. I mean, she's a influencer, and I've taken some looks at her, at some of her content, and she dresses scantily to get views, but then you don't want people to look at you, but you're getting paid for people looking at you on Twitch and YouTube and everywhere else. Doesn't make sense, does it? Okay, so here's what she says. What if I just ripped his pee-pee out of its socket so he could never reproduce again? So she's so angry that she wants to mutilate this man, so that he can't have kids. This is why I don't have kids. So this is a justification, for her feminist ideals about, not wanting kids, not wanting to perpetuate the species is because of men. Okay, so then she says, natural selection better take these weirdos out. Oh, so she wants this man to be taken out by natural selection. Well, that doesn't make any sense. So she didn't pay any attention in science class. Natural selection takes place over millions of years. Dummy. But anyway, here she goes on further. And she says he's going to jail for staring at an underage 21-year-old. Again, a dummy. A 21-year-old is an adult. You're not underaged. And this is another part of the problem where these women are out here, pushing this narrative out here that anytime a man looks at a young woman now, that somehow it equates to him looking at a child, and anytime a man is dating a younger woman, then he's a predator. But when these women date younger men, they're not predators. Madonna's not a predator. Cher's not a predator. All these women out here, going on these trips to these African countries when they're in their 60s and 70s, having sex with these young men, they're not predators. And you won't find not a woman out there saying that there's anything wrong with what they're doing. But we men, we're predators. We should be harnessed to a pole like a dog because we look at women. We can't have it, you know, any way that's good for us. Everything that we do is bad. You're bad. You're damned if you do, and you're damned if you don't. If you look at a woman, you're bad, and if you don't look at women, you're gay. Okay. So here you go on down. You say, you want to put it on, he asks, and he means put it on the bar. She replies, you don't have to do that. It's okay. He said, I got it. Thank you, though. No, she says, I got it. Thank you, though. After he leaves, she continues to rant into the camera, and part of me working out by myself, what part of me working out by myself looks like I'm a damsel in distress. So see, you have where these women are. I mean, they are so against needing a man's help for anything. That again, I mean, this is the product of feminism being taught since the 70s up until now, and it has basically taught these women that men are something that they should stay away from. That they don't need to have kids. They can have it all and do whatever they want. Just be just like a man and whatnot. And anytime a man looks at you or tries to interact with you, that it's some kind of predatory action. And it's just a lie. And all of this has been pushed by all of these different venues on how men are the problem. So let's move on. All right. So Fernandez explains on Twitter that the man staring triggered my fight or flight in response to previous traumas. You notice here's that word again. Everybody has these traumas, and everybody tells the same stories, and all the women share these stories, or the stories are taught in these classes as case studies and whatnot, and basically they carry all of this baggage, and everybody has problems. I mean, what does a 21-year-old woman, what kind of baggage would she have, How much interaction has she really had with men at 21 years old? How many relationships could she possibly have had at 21 years old? That would be this damning, and would cause her to to have some kind of triggered trauma. I wonder, and why hasn't she sought out any kind of help? So she goes on to say, I was completely fine until he followed me to my squat rack in the corner of the gym, she said. One Twitter user responded, I don't understand how hard it is to mind your business. People aren't at the gym to get stared at or get hit on. Makes no sense. So they deny wanting attention, but you're dressed like you. I mean, you have to know that you're going to get attention the less clothes you have on. And this isn't victim blaming or any of that, but a woman has to know that if she comes out, with her ass cheeks all out or form-fitting clothing, that men are going to watch. If your coochie print is all showing all out the front and whatnot, you know that men are going to look at you, right? Your mama and your grandmother or whoever raised you, at least they should have told you that much. I mean, if you're going to go to the gym and you really don't want people to look at you, why don't you get you some regular sweatpants that are loosely fitting, and go to the gym like girls used to go to the gym, and warm-ups, sweats, and they will work out, stay covered up, and then leave. A lot of guys come to the gym too, and they wear, baggy stuff. Ultimately you want to sweat in the gym. You want to get your workout in and then leave, but now Everybody's so into showing off their bodies, even the ones that don't have anything to show off, and especially women. You know, you go in, you be around, you're around that many men. If you don't want to be looked at, keep your clothes on. You know, ultimately, the gym is a man's space. It really is. You know, the gyms weren't started, for females to be in there. I hate to say this, but it's true. They don't put weight racks in there with, 1,000 pounds on them, for women. They don't. You know, they don't put 100-pound dumbbells in there for women. Most of the gear in there, it's for us. And if we don't use it, it's not even used. I know this is hard for people to hear, but it's true. I mean, I'm sorry, but it is. And, if you don't like people looking at you, like I said, I mean, how many women would be in a gym if it was an all women's gym? They used to have all women's gyms. They were called, I can't remember what they were called, but no men could go in those gyms. And they had the same gear, all that, and they had women trainers and, female trainers in there and whatnot. But ultimately, women stopped going to it because they wanted to be around men. They wanted men to be around them. That's where people, get their fix. Being around these guys. I mean, even subconsciously, I think they know that. I think sometimes they don't even want to admit that to themselves. That really the thirsty ones are them, but it's true. And ladies, the type of woman that I'm talking about. It's not all women, but the type of woman that I'm talking about. And for you, if some of you if you're listening, you know who you are. So let's move on here. So and you got the Twitter ladies responding here. So we move on down here, and she says, okay. Another said, staring at the gym is 100% normal. It annoys me, but what are people supposed to look at? The floor? Walking up to and grabbing the weight? Now that's not normal. Okay. A number of social media users claimed she was in the wrong. However, I can see how this makes me look like if I have an inflated ego, but I'm an attractive girl in a beauty standard sense. And I get extremely sexually harassed online, and it makes me trusting random strangers that approach me trigger my trauma, which is why I responded the way. This is something 5 hat slash question mark. Okay, and that's her, her Twitter there. And she says she's attractive. Oh, you're not vain much, are you? And let's go back up here and we look at her. You're not that attractive, sweetie. You're not. I mean, I don't know, who told you that. Probably all your followers. You got thousands of followers because you're scantily clad, acting like you're playing video games and whatnot, and doing tricks on your account. So I'm going down here. Okay, so she says girls like this go to the gym just to chase clout and be toxic. This man did nothing wrong, and she's hiding. excuse me, hiding comments calling her out. Really weak for someone who hits the gym, one woman said. The Daily Wire host Matt Walsh wrote, I watched the whole video. The guy glances over a few times, probably wondering why she's recording herself. Then he comes over and offers to help her rack the weights. She declines. He says, "Oh, okay," and she walks away. And he walks away. The end. She's the problem here, not him. And I agree. Okay. He went on to add, "Ladies, if you're wondering why you aren't meeting any decent men, it might be because they're afraid of being publicly shamed as predators if they even so much as glance in your direction, or, God forbid, try to speak to you." Excuse me. All right. So it says, responding to suggestions she overreacted, Fernandez claimed a lot of people had taken the video out of context. Sound familiar? People always say taking it out of context when they get called out on their bullshit. You know? So uh, she says, "I found a squat rack area in the corner of the gym," she wrote in a lengthy thread. Okay? Uh, so here's the stair counter, number 2. So she puts a stair counter up there, and then she goes feral. She's screaming at the guy. What the hell kind of exercise is she doing here? I think what she's doing is she's gonna put her shoulders up on the flat pad there on the back, that she's got, because it doesn't even look like a bench, and she's gonna put that on her, put the weights on her waist, and she's going to, I guess, work her abs by, moving this this weight, rather than just, doing crunches and doing things that would be uh, more efficient. She's doing all of this, and she's sitting there, and she's, got this, microphone, this whole setup, come on, you're set up to expose people. And you're basically taking up space in the gym doing bullshit exercises. And I'm telling you, if I own the gym, I tell you, get your shit and get up out of there. You got to go. You can't come in here and play. This is no place for you to play. And when I used to work out, when I did my time as a bodybuilder, people got put out of the gym if they came in there with that. Even the women that came in, and I used to train women. You don't come in there with all of that. The gym was a place for you to work. And yeah, you looked at women. If women were, had stuff on, with their butts all out and all that, hell yeah, we all looked. The women looked too. And we all made comments and whatnot. But back then, we didn't have to deal with this politically correct bullshit that we're dealing with today. It's just out of control today. So let's move on. Okay, the Twitch streamer's approach to humiliate the man has divided the internet. Okay, said he followed me right after I did reverse deadlifts. Reverse deadlifts. Is that what you're doing? Right. Okay. There was plenty of ab machines to use, but he chose the one that was not doing his work, chose that one, was not doing his workouts half of the time. The mirror faced just me and not the whole gym. So he was not looking around there, around. There was nothing but a mirror in my direction. Okay. I get constantly harassed by men in public spaces when I even show an inch of skin. So yes, I get pissed. So how about not showing some skin? Stop showing skin. Now, this reminds me, look, we just saw the red carpet thing go down. All these women wearing buck naked dresses, and I know you guys see this propensity to be buck naked in every aspect of life now. Every woman has to wear her abs out, her stomach out, half jackets and whatnot. Everything. All these. I can't go anywhere without seeing people in tights. Tights are like jeans used to be. That people act like this is the new uniform. Buck naked is the new uniform. Super tight shit is the new uniform, you know? And no one's supposed to look at you. Sweetie, you're a woman. Men like women. Men are gonna look at you. If you don't want to be looked at, wear a bag. People are gonna look at you, but not for the same reasons. So she goes on, she just goes on about being, harassed and looked at and whatnot. And she says she gets pissed off, which I don't believe it for 1 second. I mean, come on. Search your feelings. And you know this is not true. If people weren't looking at her, she'd be trying to do something to get people to look at her. That's why people have Twitch streams and put themselves up there. People who don't want to be looked at don't have, pages and social media accounts where they're looked at all the time. It doesn't make sense. It's counterintuitive. So she says, I don't think it's bad to look at someone once and be like, oh, that's a pretty girl. But I personally put my headphones on, I mind my business and make sure I look unapproachable. Do you? Does she look unapproachable to you guys? Because I am only there to film video vlogs and work on my progression in the gym. If you're going to do a video vlog, you need to do it at your house, in your home gym, not a public forum, not a place where everybody goes. Because if you go in a place where everybody goes, they're going to be a part of the show, whether you like it or not. So you better act like you like it when you're doing your video vlogs. Or gym owners, I suggest that you put these people out. These women that are doing this type of stuff, you need to put them out. Because if a man's doing a video vlog in there, he's going to act appropriately. These women that are coming in, doing all of these, split and stretch videos and all that kind of shit, that's crazy. I had another video where a young lady went to a track. And it was a school, and there were kids around and everything. And these men approached her and told her, "Look, you need to put some clothes on." And she was like, "Look, I'm just shooting a video." And she's dressed like a cheerleader. I mean, like a cheerleader from a porn shoot. And they told her to put her clothes on because there's children out here. You need to put some clothes on. So she got upset, and then she got embarrassed, and she started putting her clothes on and tried to, slink away. All while videoing this stuff, but she was almost in tears when she, finally got away. The thought of someone not wanting to see her naked like that, she just couldn't even deal with that mentally. And I think that's what needs to happen now. Some public shaming needs to come back so that people will start putting some clothes on. And when these people are out trying to expose men like this and trying to get men in trouble for doing nothing, then people need to just basically start calling the police on these people, having them escorted out of the businesses, embarrass them so that they won't come back. And maybe some of this stuff will stop. Excuse me. Some of these false allegations of stalking and men looking at them and all this is just, this stuff is over the top. If you don't want to be looked at, don't come out the house. Go dig a hole. Cover up completely. When Michael Jackson didn't want to be looked at, he put on a mask, put glasses on, wrapped a scarf around his neck. He did everything he could to not be looked at. He didn't come out buck naked. He didn't come out with his face showing. He didn't do that. When these celebrities don't want to be looked at, they put on disguises. So you're not doing a good job if you don't want to be looked at. So then we move on down here, and it says, I wouldn't be doing this. She says, I don't think, someone look once and whatnot. Okay, so we got on. She says, I wouldn't be doing this for attention, not at all. I don't trust random strangers. No person should. You don't know their intentions. So again, if you're that afraid of people and interacting with people on a day to day, just basic interaction, then you probably should stay at home. You probably should get your mommy to come out with you if you don't want to be around people, or your sister or your granny or whoever it is, to come out and protect you if you can't be around adults. This is just crazy that we have grown people out here who are so afraid to walk around in public with people. And we might just need to do something about that. We might just need to start treating these people like grown babies and coming out and escorting them to make sure that they're safe everywhere that they go. Because adult women are just not safe when they go out, and people look at them and cause them to be so uncomfortable because people just don't know their intentions. Get out of here. Fuck out of here with that. That's crazy. It's crazy, and I hope you get all that you deserve with that. So, she goes on to say, I am also extremely antisocial, and being hit on is never a compliment to me. I don't like to be approached. I haven't dated for a year because I despise being sexualized. It happens anyway, and I get frustrated. It's normal for girls to feel this way because it happens often. No, it's not normal for girls to not want men to look at them. Have you ever looked at, Game of Thrones or something from that time period where women said, "Oh, for the love of God, I don't want to be chosen by a man. I never want to be chosen to be a wife. I would like to die as an old woman, alone." Nobody says that. Nobody has ever in the history of anything ever said that, because if they did, a lot of us wouldn't be here. So this is the result of all of this dumb teaching that's been going on. And there are a lot of comments down here about what she's doing, but I don't have time for that. We'll go ahead and I'm gonna add that to it, but we're gonna move over to this one. And here's another article that the Guardian wrote, and I'm gonna go through that one.
Watch this creep, the women exposing gym harassment on TikTok. Women have long been hypervigilant about unwanted male attention at the gym. But before smartphones, the sense they were being stared at was more of a feeling than a certainty. Now catching perceived offenders in action has become its own sport on TikTok, with women covertly leaving their phones on record and then watching the resulting video to see who was staring at their behind while they were doing squats. On the app, the pitiless hashtag #GymWeirdos has over 1.9 million views, with videos showing men attempting to flirt with or pick up women who just want to get through their sets unbothered. Gina Love is one such TikTok detective. She goes to the gym at least 4 times a week, because the endorphin boost that comes from a good deadlift counteracts the daily stress of life. Watch this creep come over to my personal bubble while doing Romanian deadlifts, Love wrote in the caption of an encounter she posted on TikTok, which was liked over 50,000 times. The gym was practically empty, and so many corners to be in, and he chose this one. In the clip, the man stands directly behind Love as she lifts dumbbells before deciding to leave. Allow TikTok content? This article includes content provided.
Okay, so here we can see that these are clearly setups. You got this woman here. You know how many times when men watch other men lift, it's just what we do. We look, and being a woman like this, I mean, sometimes we're a bit amazed that women are able to lift the weight that they're able to lift. And we watch form, and sometimes it's innocent, Now, if you super fine and you come up in there, guess what? We're going to look. If you got a big booty and we're in there, or you're extremely muscular, we're going to look. If you go back And you look at Muscle and Fitness and all of these magazines. Before there were fitness competitors and there were female bodybuilders and male bodybuilders, there were also girls that were just in there that were just like scantily clad women who were just basically in every magazine and helping them sell magazines. But those women damn near beat the publishers over the head to try to get in those magazines. You know, when I used to go to shows, there would be women in there all over the place trying to get with men who were bodybuilders, who were just guys who were just in shape. They were all over the place, you know, and now we've come to this, you know, where you have women in here delusional about the fact that men who are full of testosterone, who are working out, you know, who are competing against each other. One of the very reasons why men compete against each other is to show their prowess in order to be a dominant mate. But women don't understand the mating process or why we do what we do, any of that. So maybe we should, you know, teach them in school that if you're in these type of environments and you have a bunch of bulls in there and they're all, you know, lifting weights and trying to be the biggest bull on the heap, then they're doing that to get your attention. They're doing that to basically prove that they're the best mate for you. And guess what? While you're watching all of that, it's going to trigger something in you also. You know, but women are fighting this back because they don't think that that's natural for them to be, you know, attracted to men in the gym and whatnot. But, you know, anyway, that's neither here nor there. There's a lot of dumbness being spread around in this environment. But let's move on.
Added by TikTok. We ask for your permission before anything is loaded, as they may be using cookies and other technologies. To view this content, click Allow and Continue. Allow and Continue. I would say I experience creeps 15% of the times I work out. Love, who is 29 and lives in Atlanta, told The Guardian. This usually manifests as a man staring at her for an uncomfortably long amount of time. It's almost like they're trying to undress you in their heads, Love said. Some might say inappropriate looks or creepy comments are as much of a feature in the gym for women as broken workout equipment or crowds. One study from 2021 found that 76% of women feel uncomfortable exercising in public due to harassment. In another survey from Run Repeat, 56% of women reported facing harassment during their workouts. Love sometimes leaves the gym with.
Okay, let's stop there. So if this is so rampant in the gym, I mean, this is textbook anthropology. I mean, why do women think that they're going to be around these men who are working out, who are clearly full of testosterone, and are of prime mating age? They're not going to be hit on by these men. I mean, has anybody just forgotten how you know, women used to go to football games and, you know, they would be dating the football players, whether they were, you know, spectators or whether they were cheerleaders. I mean, this is an age-old story. Have we become so dumb and disconnected from reality? It would seem so. 76% of women feel uncomfortable as they exercise due to harassment. Then we need to start building female gyms. Guys who own the gym owners, start putting these women out. Start putting these women out. You know that men are going to continue to come to the gym. We've always come to the gym. So we're not coming to the gym for women. So there is no motivation for you to have women in there other than, you know, extra dollars. But you might as well build a separate gym and say that this is where the women got to go. But you know what's going to happen. These women are going to beat the damn doors down and try to sue you out of business just to get in there to be around those men. And I think that this social experiment needs to take place. You know, we need to show that women are beating the damn doors in to get around the very harassment that they're saying that they experience. Who believes that this is not going to happen? This has to take place. I hope that I live to see this take place, where the pendulum swings back and women will be saying that, oh, well, we can't go into these places and we're being discriminated against. And then we bring out all of this data where they were saying that, oh, we were being harassed and we're being looked at, you know, just because I have super huge implants doesn't mean that I want you to look at them. Just because I got these butt implants and I've had my stomach sucked down flat doesn't mean that I want you to look at it. It's insane, people. It's really insane. Let's move on. This is very entertaining.
The staring is too much. It makes me feel disgusted, anxious, and my survival instinct kicks in, she said. I'll typically cut my workout short because I can't get back into feeling comfortable with that person around me. Love swaps stories with friends. One recently told her that a man had tried to secretly record her during a workout. Comments on her videos, and others posted by women with similar experiences, elicit different reactions. Some commenters agree that gyms feel like predatory spaces. But others dismiss the women's complaints as overreactions. It's not your personal space, one person wrote in reply to Love's clip. WTF is a personal bubble at a public gym? Another asked. Joey Swole is a male trainer and TikToker who calls himself the CEO of Gym Positivity. He frequently reposts these videos with commentary on gym etiquette, either exonerating the so-called creep or validating the frazzled woman's feelings to his 6 million TikTok followers. Last month, an influencer named Jessica Fernandez posted a video from the gym showing a man glancing in her direction as she worked out. I hate this, I hate when there's weirdos, she said under her breath in the clip. Feral, 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 like fucking feral. The man then asked her if she needed help with the weight, and she declined. Swole responded to her video, writing, "Women are harassed in gyms and it needs to stop, but you are not one of them. An act of kindness or a glance does not make you a victim." The video was liked over 812,000 times, and Fernandez ultimately apologized for her post. Swole and Fernandez did not respond to requests for comment. Why can't men mind their own business at the gym? Natalia Melman-Pecula, a historian and author.
Okay, so as you can see, she comes out and she apologizes after all of these gym folks start attacking her and telling her that basically, you know, she was setting these guys up. And not only were the guys saying this, I mean, the ladies were saying this too. She was completely out of bounds by doing this. And, you know, technically she could have put this guy in danger. I mean, what if some of these white knights, you know, went out and you know, hunted this guy down and beat him down for harassing this woman? Because we know that there are guys out there that are like this, that are just waiting for their chance to go in and protect a woman like this from a situation that didn't even take place. So she's putting this man's, you know, possibly his life in jeopardy, you know, by making him out to be some kind of predator, you know. So she comes out and she apologizes and all is forgiven, you know. See, because there's never any accountability for any kind of negativity that women put out there, or these types of women put out there. You know, when they make false allegations or they do this type of stuff, nothing ever happens. You know, so again, if this is such a, you know, a you know, huge problem, then, you know, we need to start moving, separating men from the women, you know, and cut out all of this co-ed behavior. They just need to be separate, you know. You know, back in the day, we knew why we had men and women's dorms, you know, men and women's barracks, you know, men and women's areas where they worked out, because we knew what was going to happen. There was going to be social interaction. That's why, you know, men and women being in, you know, in combat and in these other types of areas on ships and whatnot, in these close quarters, you know what's going to happen. There's going to be some sex going on. There's going to be some looking going on. You know, women might say the same thing about, you know, being in uniform. But guess what? When you're, you know, they run the shit out of you and get you all in shape and you're in those uniforms and whatnot, you're, you know, whether you're a sailor, you're in dungarees and whatnot, those are essentially just tight jeans. So men are going to look at you because A woman's shape is attractive. So this is just something you're just gonna have to deal with. This is, you need to just basically, you know, uh, get on your phone, dial up God, and just tell him that you hate being a woman, because you're gonna be looked at as long as you're a woman until you become old, too old. Then people will stop looking at you, and then guess what? You're gonna want people to look at you. So you better enjoy it while it's around. I can't wait to hear from her when she's 50. But let's move on.
Author of the new book Fit Nation, The Gains and Pains of America's Exercise Obsession, said that gyms had long been gendered spaces. Historically, separate men's and women's gyms existed, or health clubs hosted intentional ladies' days. When I hear about men ogling or hitting on women at the gym, I am often reminded of how for decades, women exercising was considered a kind of sexy spectacle, Petula said. In June of 1972, for instance, New York held its first mini-marathon, which was televised and hosted by the hosiery brand Legs. Playboy bunnies flanked the starting line of the race. It's clear from the footage that some of the male spectators were there to leer at, rather than cheer on, the women's athletes, Petula said. Even as second-wave feminism of the 1970s and 80s encouraged women to sign up for workout classes en masse, late-night hosts constantly joked about watching spandex-clad personalities like Debbie Drake or Jane Fonda gyrate on TV for something other than the exercise. In the 1980s, after co-ed gyms became the norm, columnists wrote articles about how gyms were the new singles bars, a concept that powered the 1985 romantic comedy Perfect, starring John Travolta as a reporter who falls for a perpetually sweating health coach, played by Jamie Lee Curtis.
See how it all comes together once you get a historical perspective on things? See how dumb it makes all of this sound? It's dumb. It's just dumb. But these young folks, they don't read. They don't know anything about any of that. So they go out and they make these dumbass comments, But let's move on. Let's get a little bit more historical perspective on this.
The majority of today's gyms are co-ed, and the idea of going back to women-only workout spaces remains controversial. Last year, Connecticut's Supreme Court ruled that these areas violated a state law banning discrimination based on gender. Despite this, certain sections of the gym tend to be unofficially sex-segregated. Women are overrepresented in the studios and on cardio equipment while men disproportionately flock to the weight floor, Petula said. But the boom in popularity of women weightlifting, and thus being more present in a part of the gym that has traditionally been more male, means that there are probably more instances of those unwanted advances. This means that women like Love, who find so much joy in working out, have to negotiate with their sense of safety anytime they want to head to the gym. This behavior from men encourages me to work out at the earliest time possible, typically when the gym opens, she said. I tend to go with a friend because creeps are more timid when there are two girls together. I try to keep my clothing incognito, oversized hoodie and a hat. It's sad that girls can't be comfortable wearing whatever they please to work out without being harassed.
Now you hear all that. So if she has to wear something to where men won't look at her, that's uncomfortable. It's a shame that girls can't be comfortable in the gym. The gym's not a place for comfort. Men don't go to the gym to be comfortable. So why these notions about the gym and how they should be in the gym? It's just crazy. I mean, this is I think a result of the comfort. We're just too comfortable. We're so comfortable that we have to make everything a problem. Everything has to be uncomfortable. It's just, it doesn't make sense, the things that we're sitting up having problems with now. But these people, this is what we're having to deal with. We're dealing with all of this stupid junk. nowadays. You know, now if we want to separate from them, we can't because it's sex discrimination. You know, so we can't separate. So we have to endure this mental problem that is men shouldn't look at women now. You know, this is yet another reason why I support the passport bros movement. Men should go where women like for them to look at them and to interact with them and to want to be on dates with them and marry them, and not deal with this craziness here that we are being forced into now. I just, yet again, another example of why men should just go overseas and find them a woman. You know, go to a place like Europe or Brazil or, you know, the Philippines or Japan, someplace where women are still women and they are not, they haven't been, you know, absorbed and assimilated into this, you know, modern feminism. You know, this modern woman is just, it's just not attractive. There's nothing attractive about it. So, you know, if you don't like being a woman, you don't like being looked at by men and all of that, then, you know, this is the only way. We have no choice, men. You know, guys, we have no choice. The only person that we have power over is ourselves. And if we choose not to deal with these type of women, then they'll have no choice but to, you know, basically be by themselves. But they say that they're by themselves by choice anyway. So you know, it's a done deal. So, you know, work on yourselves, you know, work out in a gym that isn't filled with women who don't want to be looked at. Work on your minds, read, you know, keep your health up, get your passport, keep your money up, keep it to yourself, and happy flying. You know, I hope to someday become a more traveled individual. I did quite a bit of traveling when I was in the military, and you know, sometimes you just need a break from the monotony that is the crazy house that is the United States right now. You know, maybe you need to go someplace and just sit back, you know, be on the beach or whatnot, you know, and just chill with some guys, you know, some guys who are, you know, manly men, you know, who can tell you where to go in another country where you can have a good time and you don't have to worry about being a man, you know, you don't have to worry about being a man and being victimized by some woman who, you know, thinks you have you know, deep pockets and whatnot. These things that we're having to deal with because this country isn't protecting us anymore. This country isn't protecting us from being victimized by these women. You know, we're hearing story after story. You know, all of our spaces have been invaded. Now, you know, it's against the law for us to even have spaces off to ourselves. So you can go and you can just build you a place, a man shack, and men start coming there, and then a woman comes in there and you tell her she can't come in, and then, you know, presto change up. It's co-ed. You know? Now, I mean, does that sound fair? You know? I mean, you go to the cigar bar and it's supposed to be a guy's place. And guess what? You got women in there. You know, women are now in there in the cigar bar, you know? And you're no longer among men anymore. You know? It's a crazy world we live in. You know, we've got men's magazines where men are dressed up in pink outfits and fluffy shawls and whatnot, and you know, wearing lipstick and whatnot. Um, you know, what about the days of Esquire when you had men on there in suits and you know, men looked like men, you know. We looked up to guys like 007, you know, men who were, you know, were dressed in a dapper way, you know. Taught us as young men how to carry ourselves, you know, how to dress when you're going out to try to conduct business, you know. But now everything's all lazy and slouchy, you know, and then you got to worry about, you know, being victimized by some Karen or Keisha. Well, I say to you guys, get your passport. And with that, you guys let me know what you think about this in the comments, and I'm going to move on to the next show. I appreciate you guys spending a little time with me, and hit that like, share, and subscribe, and that notification button so that you're notified about the next show. I look forward to reading your comments, and you guys have a good day, night, evening, or whenever you watch the show. This is Abuki, and I'm out.